Perfect Turd Podcast, episode 173, Lamar, Murderbot.
Or Killbot.
Yeah, two names, this movie. I think they changed it after they filmed it, actually.
Well, let's just get into it. This is another full moon feature. Shout out to them. This one, it's a female Terminator.
Yeah. Let's dive a little deeper into that story before we rate it for our first category.
Okay, so there's a secret government project going on where they're designing a female robot that's a killer, and she gets out and she runs into this small town that's by the highway, and she wreaks havoc on this small diner and then wreaks havoc on these kids coming into town. Then the government has to dispatch a team to try to stop the actual killer female robot, and that's the story.
Yeah. On the surface, it seemed like kind of like a fun idea, but kind of like the execution of it was like, oh, she just ends up in this kind of boring place and just kills people.
It needed to be something a little bit more.
Well, what do you give it?
Half a point.
Yeah, I agree. Half point. It's just lacking something. I don't even know what it was, but it just needed more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, well, we move on to the next category, Lamar, the characters.
Okay, for this to be such a small town, it's kind of a lot of characters, but you don't really connect with them.
They set people up and then kill them like immediately.
Yeah, they set them up. It's not like with the movie, like you don't know like this person. Like we know they own like a bar or a diner or whatever, but that's it.
Yeah. Even the kids, because they set up the kids like these kids are coming to the town or whatever. They kind of she starts just picking them off pretty fast.
Yeah, okay, we got to talk about the characters. They're too stereotypical.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have like any, it's not even like, not any depth. They don't have that much quirks to them. The only one I could tell apart was the one that played the trumpet.
He played the trumpet, which ended up being a part of the plot. We won't spoil that, I guess. Also, by the way, that kid, I think he missed a spot shaving. I'm just saying, like, he actually did well with his part that they gave him, but I think he missed a spot shaving, and it was driving me insane.
You're so judgmental, Joe. Jeez, what's wrong with you? Okay,
I don't know. I have to go back and watch it now. Maybe it was just the light or something, but
we have a returning person though in that troupe, Dare Taylor.
Dare Taylor's in it, Lamar.
Yes. So, but I really couldn't tell her that much from the other characters, but she's in it, so we can, yeah.
I'm giving it a half point.
I'm giving it a 0.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
All right. Well, next category. What did you think of the special effects, Lamar?
Okay. So we do see people explode. Mm-hmm. We see a little bit of laser work. Okay, but it's not good enough for like, it's so bad it's good. It's just kind of like there. Like the one time when someone gets exploded, we won't spoil it, but it is in a trailer.
Yeah.
That I liked. But then that was it. It should have been more. You know what I'm saying? Like more blood and goofy guts going all over the place.
I like goofy special effects a lot. It makes these movies fun, and I almost come to expect it.
Yes.
The problem is I don't like lazy special effects. When it's just like an asset that you can just get from anywhere and dump it in there. But some of it looked kind of like lazy thrown in there.
Yes.
That's why I'm giving it a half point.
I agree, half point.
The next category is a typical category that we talk about when we talk about full moon features, Lamar, and that's, of course, the TNA of the movie.
You have something to say. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
It was so freaking, like, out of nowhere. I was just like, am I watching the same movie? Or did I, like... Well, do we explain the setup of it? Because that's what makes it weird.
Well, they're working on the bot.
Yeah.
And then the woman's like, all right, well, I guess we're done for the night here. I'm going to go, take a shower or whatever.
No, she said something like some scientific term.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, okay. Cut to.
And then it just cuts to. Before that, I was like, man, for a full moon features, like they're not doing much of anything here. And then all of a sudden that scene came and I was like, well, okay. And I was like you, I was like, well, that was kind of random. The thing that got me the most was she was holding a couple of lights in her hand.
That's what it was. I was like,
She held the lights up against her breastises and they lit up like light bulbs.
it's science. We're not scientists. It's probably something very technical.
It's weird because usually it's a TNA is an automatic one.
Yes.
However, for full moon features, and I thought it was kind of I thought they did not utilize all of the talent that they had
We're not
on
gonna
hand,
say
Lamar.
names.
I'm gonna give it a half point, Lamar.
I agree. Yes, a half a point. Yes.
Well, there's always some potential to make more of these. Full Moon that likes to make multiple movies. Sequel potential. Do we want to see a sequel?
It's set up to have one, but I don't know. I don't think so. It was just kind of like, it's over, but you can do this again if you want.
If they went a little more crazy with this, would you want to see a sequel?
But see, that's the thing. I feel like they should have went crazy with this one.
Right. Like you said, it was done in a very plain setting.
Plain setting. That's
the characters. There was nobody that really stuck out, right?
It's kind of like when we go back in our reviews, like Reanimator. Like they probably didn't have like a bunch of like, sets, but they knew how to use them and light them and do all that kind of stuff.
What if there was more Murderbots? If there was like a bunch of women going berserk?
That I think it would have been, or well, no, we're gonna keep it with women, but fill up the town a little bit. Like have like maybe like more people in the town. Like okay, even though there was a gas station attendant, like have more like kooky characters around. Add more of the murder bots.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'd almost want to see them doing other things other than terrorizing a town. Like a bot just replaces like a mother in a family or something, but then she's a killer or something. Like it's got to be some interesting things.
Diversify the threat, basically.
Yeah. What if they send the Murderbot back in time to assassinate like Hitler or something like that?
Yeah, we'll just call it, Terminator and the Holocaust. How about that? Jeez, you just had to throw time travel in there.
Just saying, I'm just tossing ideas, Lamar.
Yeah.
Well, what do you give it for sequel potential?
Get him at a 0, man.
I'm giving it a 0 too. I don't want to see another one.
They might make another one, but it's just like this one was supposed to hook us. You know what I'm saying? This one didn't hook us. That's the thing. Full Moon knows how to like really, like if they have like a couple of rooms or something like that, they make it work. Even with like Gingerweed Man.
Yeah. All of the recent Full Moon stuff that we've reviewed over the last couple of years have been small cast, one location, but they've utilized everything to the fullest.
Baby Oopsie is another example.
Yeah, Baby Oopsie is a great example of how they utilize a little bit of stuff to full potential. But this one, I don't know. I wasn't into it.
Yeah.
Well, Lamar, we tallied the score, and this one got a 1.75 out of 5.
They tried. Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been fun. It had some elements of fun.
This is what it is. They didn't use enough seasoning. You know what I'm saying? Like, like you might taste something. You're like, needs a little bit more salt, more pepper, maybe a little bit more garlic. But no, they didn't do that.
Well, then, does that wrap this up, Lamar?
Yes, it does.
All right. Murderbots. Peace.
Deuces.